his maniacal anti-democratic plan to hang on to power. How do you think voters are processing all this?
Well, voters are anxious because the president is creating anxiety deliberately, and in part trying to depress turnout among some groups, turnout in some states. But I do think most voters are going to overcome that. I think it'll be a healthy and large turnout, and then it will fall to those election officials and those state legislators and those governors in those contested states that let's say Donald Trump loses them and loses them clearly. So they are then going to deny the obvious will of their voters, the people who put them in office, and the people who are going to bounce them out of office if they try something like that. They're then going to deny their will and instead go against it. It's possible because I've given up predicting what's possible and what's not possible. But I think at that, but I think at that point that becomes very difficult. That becomes very difficult in Mike DeWine's Ohio or even in Ron DeSantis's Florida. I think it becomes a real problem if are you going to worry more about Donald Trump's political future if you're one of those state level officials, or are you going to worry about your own political future? And Donald Trump, will at that point be a loser. So we will see. We will see.
I so wish that this were a thought exercise or a red team conversation, not literally ripped from the front pages of today's newspapers. Jeremy Bash, Eugene Robinson, thank you so much for starting us off. AB is sticking around. When we come back, the White House press secretary today aligning herself with the president's refusal to clearly denounce white supremacy by refusing to clearly denounce white supremacy. Wait until you hear her tortured explanation. It was too much for at least one journalist in attendance. We'll explain. Plus, if you're confused about coronavirus, then Donald Trump has you right where he wants you. A new study finds that the American president is the single biggest spreader of coronavirus lies. We'll show that to you. And the reason, it just might be because Joe Biden has highlighted the president's failures effectively, and all polls point to a likely Trump defeat. We'll dig into Donald Trump's fear of running against Joe Biden, going all the way back to last May and leading to his impeachment. We'll speak to a Biden campaign advisor about Trump's Biden obsession. All those stories coming up.
Hard rock was redefined in 2000.
When we released Hybrid Theory, to blend all these styles in each song and on the album, we didn't have as many references for how to do it.
Linkin Park shares stories behind the songs on the 20th anniversary of Hybrid Theory. Dive deep into their explosive sound. As Linkin Park takes over Turbo. Linkin Park Radio starts Monday, noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, Channel 41, and the SiriusXM app.
He knew. Donald Trump knew how deadly COVID was months ago, and he lied about it. Just listen.
Now it's turning out it's not just old people, Bob, but just today and yesterday, some startling facts came out. It's not just older people, to plenty of young people.
Donald Trump knew as early as February just how deadly COVID was before anyone even died, and he did nothing about it. His indifference cost tens of thousands of Black lives.
It goes through air, Bob. You just breathe the air. That's how it's passed. It's also more deadly than even your strenuous flus.
Nearly 200,000 dead. 1 in 5 are Black. This virus is literally killing us, and Trump did nothing to stop it.
Well, I think, Bob, really, to be honest with you, I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down because I don't want to create a panic.
Too late, Mr. President.
I'm Joe Biden, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Biden for president.
Hiring can be challenging, but ZipRecruiter makes it fast and easy. We talked to Monica Starks, who needed to hire for a pivotal role at her company, GS Group.
As the owner of a construction company, finding the right people is a very difficult task. So I use ZipRecruiter.
ZipRecruiter's
Welcome all those that are tuning in. Raise your hand if you can hear me. As you tune in, if you could in the chat box state your full name and your school, please.
Viviana, I made you a host, so that means that you'll have to admit anybody who comes in from this point. Just click admit, it'll pop up and you can see it. And I'm also starting to hear a little bit of audio from you, but it's pretty bad.
All right. I don't know, everyone else seems to, I had them raise their hand and they can hear.
Viviana, is there a password? Because I'm trying to access it on my phone and it says I have to enter a meeting password.
Well, there's a meeting. I forget what it's called.
All right, I'll take care of that.
Yeah, Corey will know what to do with that. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Because I have to do a little run to practice. So I want to take my phone with me.
Okay, if you're just coming on, make sure in the chat room you state your full name and your school, please. We're missing a few people, I think. Where's everybody? Well, we have 8 important people right here, so we'll take 5, 6, 7. All right. So
Who's the person who was asking for the meeting password? What person was that?
Christy Giuliano.
Okay, I'm gonna send that to you in a message only for you. Okay.
Okay. As an email or as, how is it gonna come?
It'll be in the chat pod in just a second.
Okay.
Christy, it is case sensitive.
Okay. I don't need it for a half hour. I just will be needing it eventually, so.
All right, if you're just logging on, make sure you put in your full name and your school in the chat box, please. All right, well, it is 5:04 and I want to go ahead and start. That way we can get going on this. So I'm going to share my screen here. Well, that's not what I wanted. All right, what do you guys see? Do you guys see the PowerPoint? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. That's what I wanted to make sure. All right, and if, I think I have everyone on here. If we by chance cannot hear me or the mic goes out, please let me know in the chat box or however you can hear. Trying to accommodate 3 screens here. All right, so welcome all. We're in Nature Needs of Gifted Students or Learners. Some people call it different ways, but we'll go from there. There's a lot of veteran faces that have tried this. Uh-oh, wait a minute, chat box is off now. All right, so we're going to introduce each other and get to know each other. There's a few new faces or names. Sometimes you don't always see faces. Every once in a while, I'll ask you to check in that there's a human somewhere out there that sees me. But anyway, I'm going to introduce Corey, who is our virtual learning specialist and our PDA coordinator. So she is kind of our go-to person whenever we have to get anything with Fiddlers accommodated. So the screen has a little bit of background on her. Okay, so if we have any questions, I'll always, whenever you email me, you'll see that I'll always CC her. And she'll attend most of our meetings, but she's kind of in the background if we need her for anything, or if we have technical difficulties, or if something to help you, just like right now we had to face the, someone needed another device and they needed to log in for that.
And Viviana, I want you to know that your sound is perfect now. I don't know why I wasn't hearing you before.
All right, your computer is moody because of me. I don't know it. Anyway, we wanted to touch base on how to do our book sign out. So it might be a work in progress. Those of you who took the course before, it's the Growing Up Gifted is the one that we're going to use for this one. Some of you, I remember, bought it because you were planning on going throughout the whole endorsement 5 classes, so you might not need to. So last time we went up to Gainesville for one afternoon and we got everyone there. We also have them at Fiddler's, which isn't that far from Gainesville if you want to do that. I know there's some in Marion County. So Corey, do you have any thoughts on what you want to do there?
I wasn't, I'm very flexible. So whatever you think is best, like I see that a lot of you are you all in the same district? No, not really, are you? So I don't know, I can go up to Gainesville at the Target parking lot and meet you all there on one day if you want to do that, or you can come here to our office in Reddick. So it's up to you. I'm very flexible, whatever works.
And the ones in Marion County, I can deliver those because I can put those, or we can put that in the courier. So that'll get straight to your school. So that's an easy fix too. And the ones in Tampa, how do we get someone in Tampa? I'm not sure how we got that, but it's Citrus County where that can be a centralized place that we can talk about. So as we move forward, be thinking of that, put ideas in the chat box. But what we did last time was we had 2 points, the Fiddlers, and then up in Gainesville by the Target was a central place up because I hung out there for about an hour or so and people came by, picked up their books, signed them out, and then Corey did it at the end, didn't you? So I think she went back up there.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so let us know what works. We can't be going too far, otherwise they'll always be at Fiddlers for you to pick up there. And like I said, there's some people who were interested in taking the 5 endorsement classes to get their full gifted endorsement. Then maybe an option would be to look up one of the used books that you might find online. Last time people found them really cheap on eBay, things like that. So that might be, it is. Corey, can you type in the message in the chat box, the full address of Fiddlers, so people might be able to search
Sure.
it and see how far away it is?
Absolutely, I'll do that right now.
That might work out. The book, the blue book is the 8th edition. But if you can also find the 6th and the 7th edition. It'll work pretty much basically. There's a few new things, but for the most part, that's what we have. So Fiddlers just ordered a bunch more for us so that we have one for every student. So it shouldn't be a matter of us running out of books, okay? Let's know how that worked out. All right. So what I want to do now is take it over to you guys. I don't want to do all the talking today. No, we want to get to know each other. So I want you to take 10 minutes max. It could be less. If you're ready, raise your hand. If you're done with it, that way I'll know when everyone's done. 10 minutes to create a document, a slide, a PowerPoint, screen, something to describe yourself and have it ready to share. Okay, because what we're going to do is going to break up into small groups and you'll introduce yourself to the small group. And if we keep doing that throughout the endorsement classes, you might make a few new friends and someone to take you through the journey. Okay, so it is 5:10. So hopefully by 5:20, everyone will be back here and ready to present. If you're ready before, raise your hand. That way I know how many people we're still waiting on. Okay. Sounds good? Your interest, your likes, what grade, how long have you been teaching, all kinds of ideas. Go to it. You guys are creative. I got to work on mine too. right, gang, we have a 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning. All right, if you're ready, raise your hand. Good. All right. All right, those not ready, start finishing up, please. Those are our creative souls that are just like, give me 5 more minutes, 2 more minutes. All right. All right, now I'm going to divide you up into small groups. I hope, yeah, into breakout rooms. All right, so we're going to go to 5 rooms. So one group will have 3, okay? And give you a few minutes, go in, take turns, share your slide or your document or whatever you got, and hopefully we'll meet some new people. And then we'll come back together. Come back together after you're done. I'll give you a 2-minute warning if we're getting close to 10 minutes, okay? All right, I hope I didn't cut off too many people. All right. So interesting stuff. We met some new people. We got some, I noticed a few rooms I got a chance to get in there. There's a little bit of stress going on around here. A little bit of stress, people not sure if this is, how did I get myself into this? So trust me, that's here, everywhere, all around, but we'll make it happen. I'm gonna introduce myself a little bit. So let me share, is the share screen being shared? Yeah, right. All right. So some of you know me, I don't get too creative, too artistic. If anybody took the creativity class, you know I always like to differentiate those two. But anyway, started off as a mom early on. My little guy, this is how I remember him, me with a shopping cart and him on my shoulder, but he looks more like the one all the way on the right-hand side. He's in his 6th year of college. We're hoping we can have a graduation here within the year. I started off teaching in 1998, and I started Montessori originally. And then I came over to the public school system in the early 2000s. I enjoy collaborating with teachers. My passion is gifted education. I really think there's a need for advocacy there. So that's where I picked that on. And that led to my future degrees. There she is. And that led to my future degrees. I have a master's degree in gifted curriculum, ESC with specialization in gifted curriculum. And then I have my leadership and ed specialist degree. Love to travel. So this has been very confining the last 6 months. Even it doesn't have to be on an airplane. It could just be parks and walks and stuff like that. So I put that in there. I have my parents who I take care of. Well, they're in the same city, but you know, if you have older parents, they can be needy at times. So, but I love them dearly. So I hang out with them a lot. And then the group of teachers, right now I'm the program specialist for Marion County, and I support the teachers and everything they have to get done and talk a few off the ledge in the last few weeks, but we're there, we're getting through it. All right. Okay. We're going to dive into the Moodle. Okay. What some of the things that are going to go on. I just want you to get a look at it today, get a feel for it. The pretest opened up last night. I'm going to give you till Sunday to get that done. And the same thing with the demographic survey, which is just a little bit of information about you that fiddlers want to keep on record. Okay. We're going to talk about discussion questions. If you've taken the Moodles before, you know that we like to post for you to answer the question on your own and then also respond to 2 other people. The biggest thing with the discussion questions, and as you look at them, we don't want you to go too far ahead where there's no one to have a discussion with, or get too far behind that everyone's so far ahead. So I do have some due dates on the discussion questions. I'll show you those in just a minute. For those who have taken the Moodle before, I did read a lot of the surveys and the input that you guys gave me and gave us, and I took it to heart. There was maybe a little bit too many assignments that they thought there were, and how can we condense them? So I've condensed a few, I've knocked out a few, giving you choices on some of them to pick from. So hopefully that'll be a little bit better this time around. It is a 60-hour course. So you only have 6 that I take. The rest of them are yours. But even the face-to-face people say they can do 60 all on their own sometimes, just because it's the nature of the beast and the class and the coursework. And a lot of it, you know what it is, and I'm sure the creativity people could tell us that, you get caught up in what you're researching and you go down rabbit holes and you start looking at other things and how it applies to you in your classroom. And there's nothing wrong with that. Same thing with our students. We love for them to go down rabbit hole, their interests. We want them to get done what they have to, but they can go down that way. So I always understand. And the rest of it, the only thing that has due dates are those discussion questions and your final project. Everything else is gonna pretty much be at your discretion, your time frame from here till December 9th, okay? And we're also gonna take a look at the final product or project. It's not as big as it was in creativity for those who are. All right. Can you guys see the screen? Did it come up? Yes? Okay, good. All right. So this is, I took the teacher view so I can see what you see. To begin with, you're going to have course information and the syllabus, and make your way through that and see a lot of what's on these pages. I also placed on the syllabus. I will be emailing you the full copy of the syllabus, but I have it in here also. So we have the course objectives. There's 5 topics that we're going to go under. And here are the objectives that go under every single one. Okay. Like I was mentioning to some in the small group, the great thing about Nurturing Needs, it's supposed to be the start off if you're doing the 5 endorsement classes in a cohort. So this one kind of tells you a little bit review of what the other 4 courses have. So the creativity people will find that we'll do when it talks about educating the gifted, we'll talk about creativity. We're also going to talk about understanding gifted and defining. That's more in guidance and counseling. We dive more in there. And special populations. Who are these characters that we sometimes get and why they aren't two exactly the same? And then how to manage the curriculum for them and how to account for them. Basically throughout, we'll always look at the laws and how we're bounded by the laws, how we're an ESC in the state of Florida. And in guidance and counseling, we compare with other states. Be a little bit in ours too. What we're going to do today or in topic 1 is look at what the theorists say about gifted and what they think should happen. All right. Here's the syllabus. When you look at the syllabus, the book's on there. So if you wanted to look up the book and see if it was an option to buy it, if you can find it on eBay, someone found it for $4 last time. So that would take care of you having to come up and figure out how to get the book. So I did write halfway through here suggestions of some people like to plan out, time manage. I do this with when I had students, I did the same thing with them. This is kind of a check where you should be on a weekly basis. The biggest guide is the discussion questions. The discussion questions that go with the topic will be on those particular dates. So if you fall behind a week or 2, know that there is enough, you can plan it out. You'd have to rearrange your own schedule, but this is a good go-to, okay? The next meeting we will have like this is going to be November 4th. So please mark your calendars. And then our last meeting is December 5th. So please mark your calendars. I know it gets tricky, but they are mandatory, okay? Having said that, life happens. And if you do meet something, most of you are pretty professional and want to attend and want to do what needs to be done. Things happen. Contact me or Corey and let us know, and we can, we can see how we can get around that. Okay. Any questions so far? I'm trying to look at the chat. I don't even know where the chat is. We're good. Okay. Raise your hand if you have a question or just chime in. I don't mind. Okay. I'm going to dive into topic 1 so you take a look at what is on there. For those of you new to the course, defining gifted, oh, I got chat. Hold on. Yes, we can do that. If you have someone that just send me that information. You can do it privately or here. Yeah, that'll work. All right. So defining giftedness, book 1. That pretty much gives you what you have to read throughout this. In there's some videos, there's some lists, there's some outlines, different things on what they want you to look at. We're looking at a brief history of where gifted came from, how did it come to be, what are some top events in the history, that's what you're going. There's on the right-hand side, you'll see all the topics in the book, okay? So you're gonna make your way through there. They're light reading. Look at this. This is light reading. It's not like pages and pages on each one. It's like a paragraph on each one of these. So don't get discouraged as you see that long list in the table of content, okay? As we go to discussion 1, which is maybe something you want to read or do before you even get started, depends what those questions are. But in this one is, what kind of experience have you had with our gifted kiddos? What do you know? What's the most challenging, right? has held you back out of getting services to them or getting the help they need or things like that. So we're going to talk about that. And then discussion 2, you're going to look at all the timelines in the last 30 years, right? So you're going to cite some experiences to support your opinion about what you think has made a big impact on gifted education, all right? So I'm going to go back to topic 1, the main page here. Over here, you'll see where the restrictions are. Everything's open today or last night. And I think today officially is when it's open. But this is the cutoff for topic 1 and the discussions, okay? So usually I recommend that the first week you set up your post, you post your answer to the question and then check back the next week to respond to 2 other people. That way you have a chance to read a majority of what everyone else is saying, okay? This first one has 3 discussions. That's just because we're trying to get to know. I want to know what you think. We're setting up a lot of times in topic 1, we're going to set up where you are, where you start off, what are your beliefs, where do you stand on things as you walk into this course, and then at the end we'll sum it up with what you, if you've grown, if your opinions have stayed the same, that's okay too. All right. All right, so I'm going to go into topic 5. I think this is where the culminating activity is. Culminating file requirements. Let's see. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. I believe I took it out is what I was going to tell you guys. Yeah. So there's enough little tidbits of information. So for this course, I took out the culminating was picking a topic and gifted and diving into it. We're going to get to all these topics throughout the 5 endorsement classes. And last night, my last decision was this semester is hectic enough without a long-term project. There's a lot of little things that I want you to research and look at students in your school. You're going to talk to psychologists, your guidance counselor to get some of these information, experienced gifted teachers, anyone who's endorsed. We're going to take a look at a lot of that. So like I said, I want to make this not another burden that you have, but something that you might get something that you can walk away with, some knowledge that you can share with other people, how to become a bigger advocate for these guys and know exactly what you need to get done, okay? At the very end, there's a post-test. So the same pre-test you're taking now, you're going to take at the end, okay? So, always a good thing to check back and see how you can answer the questions because the post-test is just pretty much what have you learned throughout it, okay? And the great thing is it's not time-based, so you could always come back and do 1 or 2 questions of the post-test as you hit that information throughout the course and then come back, fill it up, and then go back into the course wherever you are. That way it's not a full, oh my gosh, we did that in topic 1. I don't remember where my notes are kind of thing. All right. Questions at this point?
Can we see the dates again, Viviana?
Sure, let me go back.
Thank you.
There it is. And I'm going to email you the document of the syllabus where all these are too. So just so you have it in hand. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to give
I
you
had a question.
Sure.
Is there, does it say like which pages in the book or it just goes by chapters? This is
good
information
question.
for chapter 1.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Yes. So in the book, whenever it says the book, no. But the way I recommend it is going to the table of contents and looking at whatever topic you are discussing. Because this book covers all 5 endorsement classes. So it's not going to be a lot of stuff from the book. It's kind of here, there, and looking. The table of contents in the book is 4 pages long. No, one. Front and back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 front and back. That's 8 pages of content. So there's a lot of information. There's also an index. So if you're looking for something in particular, you can do that. Defining gifted, go by the topics. Understanding giftedness, they have developing giftedness.
So is
they
the
have-
book more, I'm sorry, is the book more of like a resource as opposed to a required reading?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
And I'll refer to the book every so often to do that. Can you do it without the book? I guess you could. It's just another resource as you're following up. Barbara Clark, who wrote this book, is very preeminent in the world of, or eminent in the world of gifted research. So she has a lot of things. And I know articles, which usually I do for the courses, because you have the book. So that's why it's always good to have her there. And having any case of charts, she could always look on. So. All right. Nope, there are no digital copies of the book anywhere. Trust me, when we were doing these online ones, we were trying to figure out how we could get some kind of that, but no, we don't. So let's see what other questions you got. Maybe if you find the digital copy, let us know, but that's really copywriting laws, and I'm sure Barbara Clark wants her 5 cents in the whole bit. And Fiddler's just bought another, I think Corey knows, 10 or 11 copies.
10.
Just so you could have one. So 10, yeah. So they just got in. So you'll get a brand new book if you get one of those. All right. So what I need to know in the chat box from everyone is, how are you picking up the book? What are we thinking? So that we can make arrangements. I'll let you think about that a little bit. If you come up with other questions, let me know. Okay, those of you who look online, that's fine too. And if you have, if you're in Marion County, let me know what school you're in with your names. That way I can put in or Corey or I can put it in the courier to you this week. Hopefully tomorrow we can maybe put it in the courier. Some people are having trouble with the sound, sorry. Right, so I'm finishing up here. I will stay online. Please take the pretest. Supposedly when we have this class is for you to take the pretest, okay? That's why we allotted 2 hours for this. So I'm gonna let you go as long as you tell me and you do the pretest, okay? So I'm gonna put this up, pretest due Sunday, please. Oh, I just sent it to one person instead of everyone.
Viviana?
Yes.
I just want to make sure that everybody saw, I posted the street address for our office here, Fiddler's office, in the chat pod. I just want to make sure everybody saw it.
All right, and I'm gonna save the chat box. That'll be in my file. That way I can do a document and print it out. And make sure if you need Fiddler's address, you have it. Debbie, you chatted with me privately. Send that to Corey Tate. That way she can follow up with that on Moodle, please. What day of the week is the 12th? As long as it's Monday through Friday, there's someone there. As long as you make arrangements.
Yeah, it's a Monday. I'll be here.
Okay. All right. And I'll be around if anybody else needs me for anything else, but otherwise you're off to go take your test, right, ladies and gentlemen? There you go. And I will see you online. Let me know. I'm just on this will be my cell phone. I think I gave it to you guys in the email, but you have my cell phone, you have my email, anytime, any place. I don't usually answer during the day because I'm doing the other job, but 5 o'clock hits, 6 o'clock, I'll get back with you, okay? You're signing off to take the pretest, and I will keep a lookout from here till Sunday for you to finish the pretest, okay? Bye, everyone.